Well, hello folks. This is Rod with Win by Doing, part-time reseller, full-time IT guy, and partner in crime in the ice cream mogul business here in North Idaho. I'm not sure where this live stream is coming up on, so if you are on one channel or one... I started this thing on... with Win by Doing, part-time reseller. Excuse me. IT guy. Let me mute that down so that I can get the chat up and running. We'll see if folks jump in here. Today we're going to go with a what sold video. I don't know what actually the title... Oh, I should probably change that. Let me see if I can change it on the fly. I don't think I can, but I'm going to try anyway. I will be right back. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about the title. I will fix that later. I know it says it's an auction haul, but tonight I'm actually going to do a what sold video just to kind of cover... I haven't done one of these in a while, so I thought I would go ahead and put one together and just show what's been selling for me. Kind of give you guys an idea, not just what I'm picking up, because I am buying a lot of stuff, but what is actually selling in my store. Hello, Susie, Arizona. Thanks for jumping in. I kicked this thing off on Google Hangouts, but because of the format of the what sold videos, and wouldn't put me down the corner so that you can actually see my face. Not that that's anything special to look at, but put it down there in the corner. And the only way I can do that, I think, is through OBS instead of Google Hangouts. So that's what we're where we're at. So yes, ice cream season is winding down. We have probably 3 days. We're running to the end of this week. So that will be done and over. I am not actually leaving, just so let me just put that out there in case somebody jumps in the chat. So ice cream business is pretty much done and over, and that's going to give us a little bit more time to start focusing on continuing the reorganization of my inventory. I'm probably about, I would say 40% done. It has been a chore, and I still haven't taken a lot of stuff out. I'm more reorganizing at the moment and putting inventory location numbers on all my items so that I can find them when I do sell them. And I'm continuing to make sales, but because my listings have been up and down, sales have been, one day I might have 20 sales, and one day I might have none or one. So it's a lot of that is attributed to the fact that I'm not listing consistently every day, but I have started going ahead and the last 3 or 4 days I started really focusing on getting some listings done and trying to balance that out with my eBay inventory organization and building an inventory system, which if you have not done that at I highly suggest it. Even if you have an inventory system in place, I do recommend that you go in at least once a quarter to do a full inventory to make sure that something didn't pop up, something wasn't missed, somehow a duplicate listing popped in. I know that happens. I think for me, one of the things that happens is when they go into the unsold bucket and then you go ahead and relist them. If you relist, say, them as a auction, and you don't delete that out of the unsold bucket, the fixed price, and then all of a sudden you go and hit relist everything, you can end up with a duplicate listing there. So that did happen to me on a couple of items where I had duplicate listings. I had a couple that I had sold that I still had a listing for, which was probably due to a previous duplicate listing issue. If my stream starts bumping in and out, let me know. I think I'm having problems with my router, so, and that's I'm eventually going to have to just go ahead and get a new lighter. Let me new router. I'm gonna pull my mic back down so you guys can hear me a little bit better as well. Hello, Kat. Thanks for jumping in. My continued support here in YouTube land. That's my loving wife, of which I love very dearly and appreciate all the support that she gives me. So everybody that is out there, give her a shout out, just because it takes a lot to put up with all the crap that I dish out. Anyway, without further ado, let's go right into some of our sales over the last, and this is going to be over the last month. And you're going to see some recurring items in here from some of the lots that you've probably seen in some of my auction hauls, but we'll go right into it. So I'm going to go ahead and switch right over into this. First thing we have is this handy cam. I picked it up at auction. I think I paid $20 for it, and it came with everything you see there, the disc, the cables. It was used very, very little. The book, the camera itself, and I think I probably priced this just a tad bit low, but I went and let it go for $89.99 plus shipping, and that actually did go through cubic rate shipping, so I did save a little bit off that. Okay, here's some I think these are the small VHS cassettes, and there's 4 of them there. I separated them out because there's 3 brands of the same, and then this normal bias down here. All of them max sell, but I guess I have no reason. No, I have no idea why I put them that way, because this one's a 90, this one's a 90, and this one's a 100-minute. Maybe it is because this is just normal bias, and I think that's what it is. These 3 are high bias, even though they're 90, 90, and 100 minutes. This one was normal, so I kind of separated them out. Hey, Redneckersons, how you doing? I hope you're doing wonderful, and all the stuff that you've been dealing with lately, I hope that you are water off a duck's back, man. Hang in there. But the this I'll put it off to auction. These are things that I had. I probably didn't do super well on these, but I'm trying to clear some stuff out. So I did put things at lower auction. I probably paid $2 for the lot of these, and only making a $4 winning bid on that at auction. I really didn't make. I mean, I made pennies off that, to be honest with you. But they have been sitting in my my inventory for quite a while. Some of that blank media does well, some of it sits, and then it could be just because of how saturated the market might be at the time. Things you picked up a year ago that looked really great, if they sit for 2 months, the market's going to change, and you might end up having to let it go for a lot less than you originally anticipated. Next thing we have here is this snapback mesh back patch hat with the scrambled eggs. Sometimes it is about clearing out your old stock, Susie, and that's what I'm doing. I mean, if you guys saw that one video that I did, it was like the video of shame, where I went through everything that I have to go through, whether it be from stuff that I'd purchased, whether it be from our storage stuff or the estate that we're going through. I have a lot of stuff that I have to decide what I need to do, what I need to liquidate, what I need to take to the local auction house, what I need to just donate, what's garbage. I mean, I have all the categories that you would find on the most recent edition of Hoarders Buried Alive, because I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to feel buried alive, and it's not a place I want to be, so I am moving forward to get through that. But this is Plumbers Have Bigger Tools hat. Again, $5. This I had pennies in, to be honest with you, so I still made decent profit. This was in a bunch of hats that I picked up. I believe this one came out of a garage sale. I think I gave $5 or $10 for an entire couple bags of hats I picked at a garage sale. I picked up some stuff this weekend, and I have to hop, skip, and jump just to get out of this office. That's how bad it's gotten. But I have a plan. We're gonna get through this. So again, this hat had everything going for it, but I don't know. I mean, I think the hat market has taken is in a slump right now. It could be because of, I mean, I just got into hats this summer, so it could be a weather type thing or seasonal type thing. I don't know. If you guys have experience with hats, and if you see a dip coming into the fall and winter months, let me know. I learned just as much from you all, and just hope that some things that you might learn from me as well. Next item we have, this is something, if you guys come across these, this is the ugliest one I had. This is their pricing guns, and this one, even the shape as it's in, the guy actually messaged me and he said, I hope at that price and the way that looks that you're including the ink, a roll of the stickers, you know, the tape that puts a price on it. I said no. I said the reason I have a price lower than the rest you're finding in there is because it doesn't include that extra stuff, and I consider all the spray paint, custom paint job, that's just character, and you're lucky I'm not paying or charging you extra for that. But definitely be on the lookout for these. If you can find them fairly cheap, you're talking $25 to $35 for these. And there I got $24.99. I think I actually took an offer on that one for $20. And I might have included part of the shipping. To be honest with you, I can't really remember. I know I did go lower than what I was originally asking. Marble Madness for the Amiga. This is part of that lot. I picked at a estate sale. And I mean, I gave probably, I want to say $30 for a lot of stuff I picked up. It might have been $40, but I've already sold a couple of games out of here. I mean, I'm already up to, I believe, right around $100 to $120 total in sales for these Amiga, and there were some Atari computer games as well. So this old, I mean, you'll see it. That's an old 3.5-inch floppy. These old games and stuff. I mean, there are a lot of followers of old video games, even systems you may not have heard of. If you can pick them up for a decent enough price, definitely pick them up, because they're fairly quick sellers. I've got a couple of titles that aren't selling as quickly, but I've sold through enough to make my profit. Now, you know, even if I'm continuing to pay the 25 cents a month to relist the item, I'm still going to come out ahead on that entire lot. Here's another one of those games out of that same lot. Gone Fishing. This one was for Atari. You can see the original price there was $36.95. Well, no, that was a sale price, $36.95. Original $44.95. I actually let this one go. I ended up 2 bids, ended up at $20 plus shipping on that. A lot of these were actually going overseas, so they went GSP. I'm going to be honest, I cannot remember. I might have had $5 in these trays. I've still got 3 more. This Budweiser one sold for $24.99. I didn't do anything spectacular with the photo here. I think that, you know, I put it on our dining room. We have one of those bistro style tables and chairs, and I just set it on the chair with you can see the leather seat there in the back. But I think that wood actually made it pop a little bit more. I don't know. You guys could let me know. But $24.99 plus shipping. I've had these for about a year. These lithographs, these came out of an old, I mean, I imagine they came out of an old military installation, whether it be Air Force, Marines, or a combination of the two, because I have some that were military lithos. But I picture them being something that would have been framed and hung in a rec hall or in you know, headquarters or something. And I already made my money off of all of these. I was selling these for $20 to $30 when I first got them. I want to say I had about 20 of them, and I'm down to, I think I've sold half of them at the $20 to $30 range. This one actually sold for $15.98, and typically I just roll these up. You can see they're not in the best of condition. They're in good condition outside, the image. The image itself is in pretty decent condition, but there was some condition issues on the corners. There's some tape up there, and yeah. So, but still pulled $15.98 plus shipping. For these, I actually ship them in. I roll them up, and I'll typically, it might be overkill or underkill, however, depending on how you look at it. I roll them up and put them in my two poly bags, one on each end, and kind of tape them up so they stay in a tube shape. And then I order and keep on hand those triangle tubes. I don't know if you've seen them. They're free from the post office. You just got to order them at USPS.com, and they're not tube, but they're like a prism tube. But that's how I ship those out, and that again $15.98 plus shipping. Part of my Lego lot. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I still have all those Legos I bought. I paid $80 for I want to say it equated to about 12 pounds. Maybe, no, it was 11, just over 11 pounds of Legos. This was one of the bigger pieces of it, and it's just kind of a platform. This Lego raised gray greenstone knights kingdom base, 15 by 10, $24.99 plus shipping. I'm still waiting to break even on that Lego set. I haven't sold any of the other Legos. I think I'm going to have to end up breaking them apart. I don't know. I thought I was going to do a lot better on it, but I think Lonnie laughed at me and made a lot of comments about how he stays away from Legos. And I'm going to be honest with you, loose Legos, it's just not going to be for me. I don't. Once I get rid of my 11 pounds, that's going to be it. This is that. I don't know how long you guys have stuck around with me, but I like to pick up a lot of dolls, odd dolls. And this one, I just titled it "Vintage Coopy-like Plastic Doll, Sleepy Eyes in Nightgown, Creepy Doll, Dark Eyes." And that is literally how the eyes looked. And when you laid it down, the eyes would close. So that's where I put the sleepy eyes in there. Finally got rid of this. I mean, this thing was probably this tall. I mean, it was not very big at all. $9.99 plus shipping. And you guys should know by now I like to sell some pretty odd stuff, but maybe it has to do with this being around Halloween, but I don't know. Something you guys gotta, if you guys aren't listing Christmas stuff, it is starting to sell. I picked up, let me see. I picked up this lot, I would say springtime. I went to an auction, not an auction, an estate sale, and I spent $200 on a whole slew of Christmas stuff. None of it was the Department 56. I know that. Totally agree, Susie. Hard to believe that doll was a child's toy. But I picked up this whole lot of these. I've got a bunch of Christmas houses. I'm getting ready to start listing all of those, and I'm probably going to put those on at $9.99. I'm not going to go much higher than these little figures, but just you'll see this is going to be a recurring theme through here. Is these little and there's some Limax, the Santa's Workbench. There's a few different brands that I'm selling, and you know what? I didn't even worry about covering up the. Let me see if I can get that in frame. The $4.99 price tag. I still list it for $6.99 plus shipping, and just they're easy, first class. Throw them in. I use my eBay, my store. You get the coupon for the shipping supplies, and I buy poly mailer, the bubble poly mailer or bubble mailers through there, and it's just throwing them in there, putting the label on, and it's done. So a lot of this stuff you're going to see isn't huge money, but I'm still drawing profit of it just based on the number of items I bought at that estate sale, and I'm going to end up quite a ways ahead on it. Would I do it again? It's one of those things where in the moment I probably would, but since then, I have become a little bit more selective as to what I buy. I think if I could get into a lot of these smaller figures, I would do that again. The houses, because they take up quite a bit more room, which is more real estate in your, wherever you're storing your inventory items. I think I would stay away from the houses. And, I might venture into the Department 56, which is a little bit more desirable, but the cheaper ones, for a $10 item, for the amount of real estate that it took in my inventory room, it's I don't think it would be worth it. But these here, I mean, I could fit 20, 30 of them in a small tote. Here's another one of those, $4.99. I'll go through these fairly quickly. This is Woman in Basket and Holly. These were most of them. If they had writing on the back, I listed them as used, because the person that owned it before, whose estate it was part of, she would write a description of the items. I think if they had the staples out of them, I would go and list them as pre-owned as well. Here's another one of those tape guns I was telling you about earlier. This was in quite a bit better condition, as you can see. A little bit different style, but it's Avery Dimension Monarch. I just put the model number there, and this one went out $32 plus shipping. And these will actually, whether depending on if you're including anything else in it, you can go. I think these went for, I put the option of first class or had a flat rate envelope. Once you get up to about 14 to 16 ounces, to be honest with you, the price is for the consumer is comparable to a flat rate envelope. If it fits in a flat rate envelope, I'll go ahead and ship it flat rate instead of first class, just to get it there sooner, and just it cuts in that discount that I would get off of first class. But I think I'm already getting paid for that shipping, so if I can get it there that much sooner, I think it's just a little bit added improvement to your customer service and makes your customers a little happier. Sold another one. These are hit and miss. I've got, I don't know, probably 20 or 30 of these die-cast cars. This is a 1964. I think this really depends on, it may not, I don't know if it's necessarily the collector of the die-cast, but someone that might have a 64 and a half teal, or just a 64 and a half Ford Mustang convertible, and it could have possibly been purchased as a gift. But this one went out $8.99 plus shipping. My Care Bear lot, I bought that lot of Care Bears. I think it was $24. I still got probably 15 that I still need to list. I put them all to auction. First week they went great. I will tell you that I believe that Tenderheart Care Bear is a no-low, meaning that don't buy that one, because I've got 4 or 5 of those, and not one of them has had a hit, but a lot of the other ones I have at least had nibbles on. And they were all vintage from the early mid 1980s. This one went $7. Let's see if here's a set of 3. They got a good deal on this one, so $4.80. So we're up to, let's just say, 11. Here's another set that went for $33. These were actually the Love-A-Lot bears. A lot of the Care Bears had embroidered patches. These actually had kind of a satin patch that had the images printed on it. And I was really surprised. These went up to $33. So as you can see, this sale alone more than paid for the 24 those darn Care Bears. This sale here more than paid for the box of Care Bears I had, and then the other $11 I've made on the other 2 lots. What were we up to? Maybe 14, I don't know. But you can see that they were profitable. Here's another set that went for $10.50. I'm just going to go through these fairly quickly. Okay, that was the end. So there, I doubled my money on the Care Bears, and it's just buying something that somebody didn't want, or didn't want that bad. And I just figured there was going to be some. it was a little bit two things. I thought that they might be desirable to someone, but the other thing, I planned when I first started listing those to follow eBay's suggested price and their suggested sale format. So they all went to auction and at the price that they said I should start with, just to see if I could make money doing that. Because, you know, a lot of people tell you they'll suggest something, but you always want to go higher. Go to your comps. I mean, some things you may want to go higher, but this was just my own personal experience on this cheaper stuff. Should I follow eBay's recommendation, and can I still make profit off of it? And I proved that I could. Here is a vintage burnt orange push button trim line telephone Western electric. I think it's similar to the Princess phones. This one sold fairly quickly, and it's probably the color burnt orange. Sold for $20 plus shipping. And I would say it probably sold within a week of me listing it. I do have a Princess style phone. It's a little bit different style, but the color is brown. It's been sitting in my inventory for quite some time. So I think that color is definitely the key when you're picking up those phones. So when you do look at your comps, I mean, you're gonna be pulling up comps that's gonna have, you know, a wide range. Focus on the color of the higher dollar ones versus the lower dollar ones. And I think that should be a good guide as to whether you should pick up the item if you find it when you're out sourcing, instead of just grabbing it because you see comps of, you know, $20, $30 on these old push button phones, and all of a sudden you get it home, you get it listed, and, you know, 12 months later you still haven't sold it because it's a crap brown color. So, I mean, just something to... Hello, Claudette. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, rotary does fairly well. But you still have to be... you have to be careful with those because there was a lot of repros that were done of the old rotary phones. So you kind of have to keep an eye on that. So one way you can determine if they're seeing it in person. You know, I pick a lot of this stuff up at auction, but if you go in a preview and you see, sometimes you can tell by the cords, or just flipping it over and looking at the bottom of it. But just be aware when you're looking at even the rotary ones that you're not picking up a reproduction, because you're going to see a reduction in value in that. The color matters when it comes to phones. Thanks, Susie, for confirming that. Like I said, I will tell you, brown doesn't do well for me, but the burnt orange did. So $20 plus shipping. Sooner or later, I'm just going to stop saying plus shipping because most of you should know by now I very rarely do free shipping. You guys, this I picked up at a garage sale. This was the one where I picked up all those photos for free. I don't know if you remember that haul, but hey, treasure hustlers, thanks for jumping in. But there was quite a few books in there, and this one I thought would do well just because of content. I don't scan these books. Some of them I just pick up on because I think, oh, industrial, heavy hardware, steel, old weapons, old ammo books, and those are hit and miss still. Car related books, I think the more technical detail that might be inside there, I think that's probably with this one. I almost wonder if this was going to the company itself, because I think it actually did go to Oregon, but it was more going to be for a collector's piece than anything else. But this one went out for $19.99 plus shipping, and it did go out medium mail. And it was, I mean, we're probably talking 50 cents to $1 that I paid for this book. If you guys, a couple weeks ago, at one of my live auction hauls, the $2.50 table I picked up that had a bunch of miscellaneous whatever in it. This teacup and saucer, I did not get the $39.99. I want to say I got 20. I would almost say it was like I accepted an offer of $20. I'm looking on my phone real quick just because it'll tell me whether I took an offer or not. But if it'll pull up fairly quickly, I'll let you know. Let's just say I took $20. I know it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been less than that, but I definitely, for some reason, I think $20 was spot on. But you know, I'm getting old. I turned 49 this year, and my memory is the first thing to go. I'm realizing. So sold. I'm sorry. I should have been a little. I should have had this. Lonnie keeps telling me I should have this picked up or pulled up all the time. Yeah, I did $20 plus shipping. So, and it was actually $7.85 to ship to them. But it was kind of a cool thing. This $20 saucer more than paid for my $2.50 auction haul from that table. This is something else I picked at auction. I probably gave $4 to $6 on it. Not a huge. This is kind of a reproduction. It wasn't super vintage. You guys, too many driving today. You guys do any driving today? I do not know if that's... Are you talking to somebody in the chat or to me? I drove to work and back. Anyway, this wasn't the best thing. I threw this off to auction. Again, this is a reproduction. Kind of a plastic or a light aluminum base. I don't think it was brass at all, but it went out $10.50 plus shipping. I was able to break this down a little bit, and the shipping wasn't too terribly bad on it. But these style lamps, unless you're getting them, unless it's a vintage style. The dumpster diving. Yeah, I haven't checked out a ton of their videos. I did enjoy seeing them on the other. I think it was John's channel the other night while I jumped in chat. But thank you for clarifying that, because now that I can read evidently as I get old, my memory's the first to go, as well as my eyesight. So this was a bad purchase for me. I still made maybe $1 or $2 off of it, but still, be careful on these vintage lamps that you know exactly what you purchased. This, I think I gave maybe $6 for this lot of silver. Again, it's just little bitty pieces of... I wish I had I've got my actually invoice sitting here somewhere, but they're like little bitty pieces of 99 silver. Little bitty coins, a bunch of wheat pennies. So I put it off to auction just to see how it would do. My first venture into any type of silver outside of jewelry. And as you can see, it wasn't a huge profit for me, but it was a good experiment all the same. They probably got, let's see, for $10.50, there's 50, 60, 70, 80, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90... $1, and then there's some foreign coins here. So they automatically had $1 discount. I haven't done many coins just because they scare me. This is probably my biggest shipping this week or this month. Was this? I think I had $20, $30 in this. Actually, no, I didn't. I had less than that. I want to say maybe $10 to $15 in this register. I have to go back and look. It would definitely not have been more than 20, I don't think. But tested it, got it, made sure everything worked. Did the video on my listing, and I ended up selling it for, I did take an offer, I believe. I took an offer of $90 plus shipping, and funny thing is, I get called from the guy. He's like, do you have the passcode? No, he messaged me, do you have the passcode for this cash register? I can't program it without the passcode. So, because I'm a experienced Googler. People come to me, ask me questions. They think I know everything. I don't tell them my secret is Google. I'm telling you folks this now, but so just keep it between us. Google will make you look smart. So I responded to his problem. I told him exactly how to factory reset his register, and because I didn't respond, it took me probably about 45 minutes to an hour to respond. He had messaged me like 3 times with pictures of it and everything. And finally I sent it to him, and then he gave me his number to call him. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and call him. So I called him up. I said, I sent you the instructions for doing the factory reset. Did that. He says, you know what? He says, it works fine now. I followed the instructions and got it working. And they after making sure he was satisfied and everything, he says, and you know what, he says, I have your number, so if I have any more problems, I'll just give you a call. And I'm like, oh crap. I need to give me a different phone just for the eBay business. I don't know anything about coins. Would be intimidated by it as well. Yeah, that's me definitely all the way. And I'm going to have to check out more of your... I can handle some... I don't knock anybody that does dumpster diving here in Idaho or in the city that I live in. It is not legal. So I would probably be breaking the law. Well, I would be breaking the law. I don't know how punishable it would be here. But it's just not for me. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. Next thing, okay, we're going to move into these photos. I should call this What Sold video all about photos. These are those CDV photos that I bought. If you're not familiar with CDV, they're only about this big. Hello, cruel world. You too, Rod. Hey, Sam Dallas, thanks for jumping in. We are more a funny channel. I will definitely, I've been meaning to hit, I haven't been hitting very many shows at all in the last week or two. So if you guys are putting out, anybody that's putting out regular content out there, if you haven't seen me as active in chat, it has been because I've been pretty busy, and I'm trying to get ready for hunting season, which is new for me this year. So we'll see how well that goes. I'm probably going to be doing more hunting than harvesting, but that's a whole different story. If you're not familiar with these CDV photos, I'm going to be honest, I couldn't really remember where I got them. I think I picked them up in an auction, and I honestly, I think they were thrown in with something else. So, I would venture to say most of my lots have been under $10. So somewhere between $5 and $10 I paid for all these photos. CDV photos, there's CDV photos that are like this. Like, I want to say that it's like 4.5 by 3, or 3 1/4, but they're smaller photos, and they actually take the photo and they glue them, for lack of a better word. We're doing elk. I'm doing elk or deer, but they attach it to a piece of cardboard, and that's what the CDV photos are. And I Google it, you'll CV photo, and you'll see. You can, if you're interested in knowing the entire process, there's a wiki for everything. I don't have to hunt very hard for a fudge sickle, Sam. I just have to walk 100 feet out the back door, if that, to the shop and grab one out of the freezer. Now, it's something, when you're looking at these, there's also what they call cabinet cards that are larger. And I'll just, I've got some right here. I'll just show you. Show you the difference here and the similarities. Let me switch back over here. This would be the CDV, and this one is more of a cabinet card. Now, most of these that you're going to see me go through, and I'll go through them fairly quick, but something I think that you should pay attention to is subject matter, because I still have quite a few of those that are listed that haven't sold. but I'm wondering if it has more to do with the subject matter than anything else. I have not listed any of my postcards yet. I'm still debating. I think I'm just going to lot them out, to be honest with you. These I just listed: CDV photo, balding man in suit, $5. I just put them all to auction, starting at $5. So you'll see a lot of these. CDV photo, young baby in dress and shoes on toes. And the reason I put on toes because it doesn't looks like they didn't set. Here, let me scroll that up just a little bit. See if you can see it right there. The shoes were not even on their feet, on the poor little kid's feet. And we're going to keep going through here. Here is CDV photo, distinguished gentleman with beard sitting cross-legged near a curtain. And I added curtain just in case there's the curtain collector out there that would appeal to. But there's another one. That one actually, that was $5 plus shipping on all of them. CDV photo, baby sitting on stool in front of pillow beside table. So I just very basically put what was in the picture. This one was what? Photo, bearded man with light colored suit. Sometimes you just have to be creative with your descriptions. I'm wondering if I'm... So, yeah, I picked them up fairly cheaply and got $5. Most of these went to the same buyer, but a few of them went to someone else. CDV photo, bushy bearded man. Now tell me if that's not good keyword usage there. How else would have you described it? Oh, here is CDV photo, mustached man in suit and tie. Exactly what he was. $5. I sold a lot of these, and like I said, quite a few went to the same buyer. This is a small girl with curly hair in coat sitting in a chair. I think hairstyles and beards and kids are a reoccurring theme as to why these particular ones might have done a little bit better. Here is a man with beard, suit, and a bolo tie. $5. So those all added up. You're going to see a couple more, so you can get tired of seeing those CDV photos, but we'll power through it and get to the end here. 2 or 3 garage sale weekends ago, I stopped by, picked up this box for $8. Okay, I hope I'm back. Let me know if I am. Thousands of PCs of all types. So you're a PC collector. I actually have someone that rebuilds them as a hobby and was wanting me to sell PCs. We just found the router. I have to figure out. Oh, good. It gave me the error saying that I was disconnected. Oh, you know what? I did not switch back here. There we go. So I'm back here showing you what I sold. If y'all remember going back a couple of weeks ago, I went to garage sale and picked up a box of fishing stuff for the for $8. This is one of the lures out of that lot. I'm glad I didn't leave. I just got a notification saying that my OBS was disconnected and then it reconnected. So maybe it was good thing he didn't do anything weird. You know, I wouldn't put it past me, but I am very cognizant of the little blue light up here on both sides of my webcam, that if it is blue, you better be on your best behavior because somebody's watching you. So I put all these lures in at auction, basically just found the name of them, and you know, most of it was written on the, I want to say the underside. I'm trying to get to a picture that actually shows. There we go. Most of them, the name of the lure is here. Reselling with Rob. Hey, thanks for jumping in, man. Appreciate it. But I actually made a killing on these lures, and it's not something I find every day. But I was pretty excited when I saw the auctions taking off, because I'm not that knowledgeable on it. That's part of the reason I went the auction route. That, and I've been really digging the auctions as like my first go-to, just for a quick turnaround. If it doesn't go the first week or the second week, I'm starting to put them off. I'll consider those a long tail item, and I'll just put them on the buy it now at a value that I think that's comparable, at the value that I think it should bring long tail. But if I can dump it for a little bit less profit and still make money on it, I'm happy with it. He said he didn't get weird. That's all. I zoom in on me on the camera so that whatever I'm reaching for, it's all out of camera. That's all. That's where I'm leaving it, and I'm just reaching to the left, the right, and up. But $7.50 for this lure plus shipping. We'll keep moving. Here's another one. This one went for $28, believe it or not, at auction. I want to say it had 10 bids, yeah. And very specific instructions. So I don't know if this is something for all collectors, but they specifically wanted me to put this lure, wrap it in toilet paper, because these little, I don't know if they were leather or a nylon, little crawly legs there, they could become brittle after years, especially if they aren't super well taken care of. So I went ahead and did exactly what they wanted, wrapped it into toilet paper, and I actually have, I don't know if I have a piece of that here. I thought I had a piece laying here, and of course when I want to, well, I actually have some foam, and I cannot, oh, here it is. I have these little foam pieces, and I know there was some discussion on a couple of Facebook groups about using foam noodles, like the kids use. Even the insulation, if you can find it cheap enough, that pipe insulation. But the foam noodles, you can just slice down through here. And this is actually what I put the lures in. And I don't even have a knife or a pair of scissors sitting right here. But I just kind of split it down the side, cut it to the length of the lure. I wrapped it in toilet paper, the lures in toilet paper, which I have right here. That's all I use this toilet paper here at my desk for. And put the slit in, stuck the lure in there so that it wouldn't come dislodged. And that's how I shipped it. Put some tape on both ends and called it good. I know, I'm just not... Rob says some of these lures can go into the high thousands. I think the ones that get up to the thousands are probably harder to find. And I felt lucky to find this box for $8. But going back to these tubes, those noodles, if you can still find them at Walmart or wherever you go shopping that sold those things during the summer, you probably pick them up fairly cheap. And I know people that put them around picture frames. I've taken these tubes and put them around electronic edges after I polybag them, just to give it a little bit more protection. That was before I moved to packing peanuts. But you can find lots of uses for those noodles. These here, if you're wondering where I got these, we do concessions as well as the ice cream stuff. And we always, since we run at the beach where they do fireworks, one year we picked up a bunch of these. They're actually about this long, probably about 2 feet long. They were LED lights, and you light them up, and it had like 3 or 4 different, you push the button different times and they light up. I basically just pulled the end off, pulled the little switch, the battery, and the LED lights out of it, and of all the ones that I didn't sell at that 4th of July or the following 4th of July, I've been using them for shipping. I'll give you credit, Rob. I probably, if you guys want to, this is what these look like. But yeah, I don't have any of the needles here, or I'd show you that as well. I keep forgetting to transition when I'm actually showing something down the little corner so that you guys can actually see it. Next thing we got here is another lure. This one went for $20.50 plus shipping. This had what? How many bids on it? 11 bids on this one, and it was a Heddon. This Heddon and this was one of the titles that was. I mean, I had quite a few of this brand, so I think they're pretty desirable. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I looked at them, I saw old fishing lures, and that they were wood, and they were in decent condition. I saw some reels in there as well, and I was like, I should have given them the $10, but I would have given them the $10. But here's the deal: they put on the sign $10 or best offer. So when they say or best offer, that means they don't really expect to get 10 out of it, so they're going to be happy with 8. So I said, hey, how about 8? And they're like, oh yeah, I'll take it. And funny enough, not funny enough, it was, I think the guy that lived in the house had inherited it from an uncle or something. But anyway, so I've made a killing off this $8 investment. Next thing we have here, this reel was in there too. This is an old pin, I believe. Yeah, pin Delmar number 285. For those of you who aren't super familiar with reels, most of them have the model number on the reel somewhere. I didn't even clean this one up. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, I think these are old enough. I would almost, you know what, looking at it, I think that's, like, there's some salt buildup on these, on the handle there. I did not do very much cleanup on this at all. But $8.50 on that one plus shipping. Here's another reel, went up to $27.55, still part of the $8 lot. Here's another lure out of that lot. This is a newer, a Rebel. It's not, thank you, Treasure Hustlers. It's not as old as the other ones were, but $8.59 is a pretty decent price. I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, there's a Hula Popper. This one is, you can even see the little rubber on the back. It was still in pretty decent condition for its age. Came with the, thanks Rob, it came with a box. This one didn't go higher. This is I think a newer lure here, and I think you can, I'm gonna have to do some research on this, but most of the other ones, like the eyes were painted on. These actually had like little pins or something on those that created the eyes on there, so that might be a telltale sign of age, but don't quote me on that, because this is actually the first lures that I sold, and I got lucky, to be honest with you. And sometimes that's all it is, when you're out here sourcing and reselling. Oh, Claudette, did I miss Claudette? Oh, thank you, Claudette. I am so sorry. Here's another one. Picture was crappy on here. What was I? Were all my pictures that bad? Yeah, I missed it. Well, I guess that's not too terribly bad. Some of it was focused. I probably was still recovering when you said bless you. Yeah, I'm getting old and I can't see. Man, you guys fit in right in with my wife. She's typically in here heckling me with the best of y'all. Here's another one. This one just went for $3. But by this time, I did not even care if I was just getting my initial $3 bid or not, because I had already made, more profit than I probably deserved off that investment. Here's another CDV photo. Went to a new customer. This guy, I mean, he's... I almost wondering if he had a Bieber do before Bieber made it popular. Sometimes the pen handles alone sell for more than the whole dang reel. I will have to look into that, Sam, because I don't know. At first, I thought they might have been Bakelite, so I wonder if that... And there would probably be something that would be damaged quite a bit. She was in here earlier, Hustlers, but she's probably getting Izzy ready for school in the morning and off to bed. Parts of most things are worth more than the actual item. I know that on quite a few things. The problem is because I do this part time, I don't. I choose where I put my time. I'll test items that need to be tested, and I've tried taking things apart and sell as parts, but it takes time. And with me with the full-time job and the ice cream business, and helping raise the daughter and trying to do some other thing. Oh, gotcha, Sam. For me personally, my model, I don't like to spend a lot of time tearing stuff apart. My vintage radios, I would love to be able to just go in there. I've got 2 of them right now. I think it's the filter capacitors that are out of that. I picked up one. I don't know if you can. I actually already sold one of these. This one has been repainted, which is it's kind of sad to me. I actually gave $20 for this one. But it's in great condition, except for and to be honest with you, to be fair, the paint job is pretty decent. But the fact that these are Bakelite cases, the fact that they painted it, yes, ice cream. We own ice cream trucks. We have 3 trucks, 1 more on the way, and we also do a concession stand in the summer at one of the local beaches. But the filter capacitor, I think that's what it is on this one, is out. But I could draw a lot more profit on them. But it's balancing out time, whether I can. I guess if I did enough of them, or if I just kept them all and just went and bought the parts or ordered them online. I mean, we're talking quite an increase in value between one that doesn't work and one that does, unless it's a collector that does that type of thing. But I'll sell it as is. I guess that's where I was going with my story, just because of time. Oh, here's we already went over this photo. This auction hat. This is a local auction company. The thing that this one, I sold a couple of these that were two-tone, I guess you'd say, with maybe the black on the front. I've got cases of the Nestle Crunch Bar. And the mesh was like a yellow or a white, but it was two-tone. They did quite a bit better. I probably made $15 to $20 on those, but the white on white, I finally got a bid of $5 on it. But it's a local auctioneer that is. I don't even think they're in business anymore. We run let's just average about 40 different novelty ice creams on our trucks. We offer a huge selection, so if you name it, we probably carried it. Here's a Casio. We always talk about. Oh, really? So maybe they aren't local. Maybe they moved over there. I don't know, but I bought a lot of hats for like $10, and they were in there. And at first, I didn't even list them because I didn't think they had held any value. But some of them were. I just assumed that they weren't because I didn't see them around here. So maybe they were implants from where you're at. So I will stop saying they're out of business. But I'm selling a lot of those, the Ritchie Brother ones. I'm selling them overseas. believe it or not. But they were, quite a few of them were, why can't I even remember the hat brand? Oh. It's the desirable brand. My brain just escaped me. I'll remember it here in a minute. But anyway, it doesn't have to be something in your local area that it can be something local. Even though this one ends up probably not being local, it was just an assumption of mine. But those hats were being sold over on the other side of the world. We always hear about the Texas Instrument calculators. I picked this up for maybe $2 or $3. It's a Casio graphing calculator, sold for $19.90 plus shipping. It doesn't demand the price that the Texas Instrument graphing calculators do, but still, a used calculator turned it for $19.90. I thought was pretty decent. Oh, here's another 280. This is one of my Care Bears, and yeah, you know what? $280 is a crappy price plus shipping. It actually went. I made some money off the shipping because it went cubic rate. But as you saw earlier in the show, that $24 investment on the Care Bears, I've already more than doubled my investment on those. So this is just bread and butter. This is I'll be honest, I don't even remember what I paid for this. I'll just say high $5, but it was probably more on the $3 range, and it might have even been in a case lot. But I've had it for about a month or two, and it finally sold $24.99 plus shipping, and the Casio. It did have a split on the seam of the case because it's just that old vinyl type. There's a picture right there. I don't know if you guys can see it there, but that's the most important thing when you're listening to stuff. Everything, make sure you're putting the entire, every flaw that you can find in the item. Make sure you're putting that in there so that. Make sure that you're not hiding anything from your customer, and that will avoid the returns. I'm an advocate for free returns. I don't like free returns, but I offer them because I think it benefits me as a business and improves customer relations, and it also helps draw people to buy from me because it kind of gives a little bit more faith that I'm not going to I'm not going to misrepresent something simply because I don't want to get that return, have to pay that return shipping, and lose that sale. Anyway, if you guys remember this lot of photos, this was the highest profit margin I have ever made. These were free. I found it was a garage sale, and it was in a shop, and it was pretty much everything was for sale. So if you go through digging stuff, they're just trying to get rid of stuff. So I went back after I had already made a pile, and I found these back in a drawer in a cabinet, and I found this stack of photos. They're all kind of curling a little bit, and I say, how much you want for these? Just go ahead and take them. Put them off the auction, and $157.50 plus shipping. I mean, my jaw dropped. I knew that I really anticipated maybe $40-50 for them, but then when it got up to, I want to say, I'm going to pull this down just so I don't want to give out too much, I guess, user information. Trying to pull this up. Okay, started out at 20, and it was doing pretty good. I thought here at the 4 days in, I thought it was coming to an end. Then all of a sudden it went from 34 to 100, and then finally just kept going up to 157.50 is what it ended up at. But it was just crazy. But anyway, I was pretty excited about. You should break the bank with that haul. I found the John Deere, some sports as well. Oh wow! What Oh, you're going through your hats. So you had NASA hats. How are you going to clean them? Did you get one of those? Have you used those things you throw your hats in the dishwasher? What was it? And how was the age on the John Deere? I'm telling you, farm machinery. I think you. They do really well, and I'll be interested. I look forward to seeing how you do on the NASA. Sports I don't do too well with, but it could just be because I don't know what sports to pick up. I'm not a sports guy. I think I'm probably the laughing stock of the reseller six pack fantasy football league I'm part of. I am holding down last place with sitting at 0-3. So you can definitely tell I don't know much about sports, and that's probably why I don't do well with the sport hats. Here's another one of those lures, $3. Again, it's not a huge sale there, but with the combination of all the other fishing equipment I picked up out of that box, this is just all bonus here. And it was all within, a week of, I think it was the first week of listing these things. Another $3 lure. This, I think I had $3 to $5 in. It was an old reel-to-reel. Again, if you're messing with these electronics, I do highly recommend you putting in the video. And if you're not familiar with this, it's just using the Flipper Tools. I think it's got a thing in there where it builds the HTML to include your video link, but this actually showed that it was working, and it also helps if there's something wrong with like the radios I sell. It gives a better representation. Hey Delden, thanks for jumping in. You're gonna catch the tail end of it, but oh, gotcha. I have depends on the hat inside. If foam, I hand wash it. No foam, toss it in the washer. I blow up balloons inside them to dry and shape them. Starch them when that man. That's probably my problem because I'm not doing I'm not doing any of that. I'm lucky if I run them through I have those hat molds. I don't know if you've seen them, but it's like a shape of a hat, and you put gotta have a good nap. Good night, Claudette. Thanks for jumping in. Just got back. Was that stripe lure it was not. It was $3. A lot of them, they were strong in the beginning, but they started slowing down on me. But like I said, between all the reels and the rest of the lures, I'm assuming that I didn't change up the keywords much on those, and some of them somebody's probably getting a hell of a deal because I didn't. You only know what you know, and you what is it? You don't know what you don't know a lot of the times, and on those lures, I probably could have commanded a little bit higher price if I knew specifically the brand, the model, I'd have to know. I'd have to go out and buy the old catalogs and be able to tie it to a year. That's where I probably would have got a little bit more, or maybe quite a bit more on these lures, but. I'm still happy if I'm the middleman and moving stuff from point A to point C so somebody else can make a profit. I'm okay with that because I've made quite a bit of money off of what I've already sold. You use those; they leave dents. I use them for my own hats. To be honest with you, if it's the vintage ones with the foam, if the foam's in place, I leave it. If the foam is starting to deteriorate, I'll go ahead and hit it with a vacuum and get it and take the rest of it out so that it's not making a huge mess when they get them. Yeah, I hope you do. You probably do a lot better than the $3 I got if you did it buy it now. To be honest with you. This is just a vintage plastic reel-to-reel 1970 North American portable reel-to-reel recorder working. And to be honest with you, I think I was probably on the top end of the comps. I think the video showing that it actually worked, it actually had a reel in there. Let's see if I can show you what it looks like. It had somebody's recording in here. I mean, it was kind of... the sound quality was... I mean, it was horrid, but it's part... The main reason I think is because the age of the tape that was in there. I mean, it sounded like some kids that were putting together a family talent show or something. It did have some indentations here where the microphone went. I had the same lure, sold it as part of a lot. Yeah, I didn't get it, $3. So yeah, $29.99 plus shipping. I love the vintage electronics. You guys are probably aware of that. Finally sold Raggedy Ann and Andy, and I did not get... I took an offer on this. I'm just pulling up what I actually took the offer on. I started this way high back when I first got it. And gradually came down to... No, I did actually... I did get the $29.99 plus shipping. I could have swore I took an offer on that. Maybe I just lowered the price. These are the big ones, and they were actually... You know, when you're looking at Raggedy Ann and Andy, I think you can draw a little bit more money if it's like a Knickerbocker. That's one thing to look at in a lot of this vintage stuff. Some of those old... weird looking plastic head animal Knickerbockers, those sell pretty good. But the Raggedy Ann and Andy, this was part of like a McCall's pattern or something. So it was handmade, and I put that in the title. But I mean, they stood, what was it, 35 inches, so almost 3 feet tall. So 29. I want to say I might have lost a little bit of money in shipping on those. I think I had maybe $1, $2 in this. The PlayStation promotional backpack over shoulder carry bag. This I picked up at a garage sale. Someone that used to work for Sony. I can't remember if they did testing but they had a lot of promotional stuff at that she was just trying to liquidate some of it that she'd been collecting over the years. Some of the better stuff she was holding on to. Now, I know I've talked about the $2.50 table at the auction. This was in that, and I've got the first one I listed at auction. It went up to $28, and I want to say I started it at $11. And it's just some kind of oil supplement. I didn't even know what it was when I picked it up. I saw there were some other things on the table that were of value, so $2.50 was a no-brainer. I knew I was going to make my $2.50 off of it, and surprising when I got it all out to the truck and I was pulling comps on this. There was one other that was similar to it that didn't have the red caption or PAL, whatever you want to call that, but it I've got 5 more. No, I've got one sitting back there on my... you can't even see it on my... I've got one sitting right there. I've got 3 sitting down here. And right now I've got a bid on one at $11. And I've got another one listed at $34.99. Just to compare the buy it now versus the auction to see if I get a take on the other one. And I'm almost betting I'm probably not going to get a take on the other one. If people are watching, they've already seen this item come through last week or the week before this auction started, and all of a sudden 2 of them show back up on the market because there's not any more out there, I don't believe, like this. Let's go back to the creepy again. This was actually a handmade item, and I've been sitting on it since spring, I want to say. Handmade creepy unique doll head. I think I gave 50 cents in it from someone that did art stuff. I mean, it was pretty cool looking. I don't know what the purpose of it was, but it was actually, you can actually see where it was, the aluminum foil was used for the mold on that. So anyway, $9.99 plus shipping. So I swear, some of the stuff that I pick up just cracks me up. Still to this day. You know, I thought I'd try a Levi's, vintage Levi's Hong Kong metal button denim shirt. This is another one of those things. You got to know what you're looking for. You need to know what tabs to look at. That, you know, if you're not familiar, the little tabs. You know, you're looking at color of tabs. You're looking at, you know, big E versus little e. You're looking at the, sometimes you're looking at the stitching. Sometimes you're looking at the back tag there up top. It's definitely not something that I know a ton about, but this one I started high, I think, and ended up getting $10 out of it, and it was probably a $2 find at a thrift store. I know the thrift store I got. I'm not sure exactly what I paid for it. Going back to Christmas, I'm telling you, if you are not listing Christmas items yet, Christmas is selling already. I know it's not even Halloween, it's not even Thanksgiving, but Christmas is starting to sell. Here's another. I sold a pair of these for $9.99. Here's another one of those. This is a Lemax, $6.99 for it. And again, I didn't even worry about taking the price off of it. I mean, the stickers were pretty much torn, or they were, if I took them off, they didn't come off easy because of the age. I think this was a 2006. So a lot of these are going to be patterns that aren't around anymore. This one, interesting enough, I had somebody watching an auction, so I said she wanted a croquet set. We got the croquet set, and it was roached. I mean, the balls, there's only 6 balls to the set. There was only, I want to say, 4 mallets, and the base was missing half the leg on one side, and it was just covered in cobwebs. $12.50 we paid for it. The set alone, it was a vintage set. If it was in decent condition, we would have been probably talking $50 to $60 value, but in the condition it was, I mean, I said, you know, if you don't want it, I was kind of embarrassed to bring it home and give it to her, and you know, she paid me for it, and I said, if you don't want the croquet set, let me know. And she's like, well, no, not really. So I said, okay, I'll break it up in pieces and I'll sell it as parts. So I had listed these 5 balls. I washed them up really good, put them on my deck, took a photo, and ended up selling them for $24.99. And I want to plus shipping. And this actually went cubic rate shipping the way I packed it. And so I made a little bit off the shipping as well. This I just picked up at a garage sale last weekend. It was a group of items I picked up. A digital recorder, this micro cassette recorder, and I can't remember. There's 2 or 3 other items. I didn't do a haul video on that lot, but I'm just going back to. I actually I lowered the price on this. I just wanted a quick sale, and I accepted. I lowered it to $30 plus shipping. So $20 for the lot. I've made my money back on this. I still have to. I've got the one thing charging back here, and I have to think of what else I had at that sale. But anyway, it is that was a pretty decent turnaround. I included all the micro cassettes. Before you think I'm crazy for not breaking those up and selling, these were all pre-recorded. The pre-recorded set cassettes do still sell, but just not, they don't drive as high a price as the sealed, and they don't, I don't know if they sell as quickly or not, but I didn't want to sit and deal with them being pre-recorded, so I just loaded them all up with a bag that this thing was sitting in and let it all go. And the last thing I'm shipping out in the morning is another Christmas Village accessories, 3 bears and a little tree for $12.99 plus shipping. Anyway, that concludes what's sold for me. I know it's a little bit long, but I felt I needed to do one. I hadn't done one in quite a while, and I'm always looking for, okay. I wasn't enjoying seeing my head as big as it was on the screen. So, but yeah, that's gonna be. I have many boxes of vintage Christmas ornaments. Oh crap! I hate those things. Yet I know I have tremendous value there. I need a lister. Yeah, I don't. I've gotten, like I said, these I would do the little figures again, but the Christmas Village, they're just such a pain in the butt to list because they are pre-owned. I pull them out, I plug them in, make sure the bulbs are good. I take pictures of them in with the lights turned off and the light to the house on, and then I take around the photos with the lights, the house lights on and the light on the Christmas house off, just to kind of give the full effect. And it's just time, and that's why I've been procrastinating. But Kat upstairs, she's been hounding me. She's like, we need to get those things listed. So that's what we're starting to do. And this is supposed to be my hobby, so I'm not going to have, I can't pay anybody else right now to do my hobby for me. So anyway, that's it for tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you for jumping in. Who knows what I'm going to be on next. I've been kind of slowing down on my sourcing because it's just getting out of hand, and I feel like I can't move stuff out of here into my inventory room next door without getting it completely organized. Anyway, I will catch y'all next time. Look forward to seeing you again in the chat. Hey, John, you're just catching me as I wrap things up. You missed the most epic What's Sold video of all time, and of course, quality diminishes when you catch it on the playback versus catching it live. Anyway, thanks for jumping in all the same. We'll catch y'all later. Peace out.